Hello and welcome to Casting Roles, where a bunch of theater nerds and good friends play a little D&D. We're so happy that you've joined us. Take a moment to subscribe to the show. It takes just a click and earns our unending thanks. Drop us a like and leave us a comment for Campaign 2. Our videos are uploaded here on YouTube every Friday, and we have tons of great content to explore. Without further ado, let's go ahead and start the show. So last time, our crew adventurers returned Indira's fear to the tower and then headed back to the dormitory for an evening of completing their magic broom building, descaling themselves of the what did I say? They're not barnacles. I was like bronchioles. That's not the right word. Barnacles on their arm with the help of Lucky in a date in the hot springs, and generally prepared for the following day, where you were going to head off to take on Indira's confusion in what remained of the maze. So as the morning opens with you all fully rested and recovered, what would you all like to do?
Breakfast, right?
Yeah, breakfast is always ready to go.
This party's so obsessed with food, and I love it.
Yeah.
I've always been.
It's just who we are.
Yeah.
Pocket bacon.
There's lots of carrots that are weirdly shaped.
That's exactly the same shape as the thingy.
Indira's, it seems that Indira's indifference has cooked, and it is a somewhat like hodgepodge put together mishmash. There's like like fruits that have not been chopped. There's, like bowls of oatmeal where you have to pour in magically boiling water to turn them into like instant oats. It's like half done for you all, but there is a good enough meal ready for your consumption. And as you're all sitting to eat, Enigma like plops down the hallway and then jumps up onto the table next to Ravik. There's no fish on the table, and I was promised fish.
Well, let's make sure we fix that for you, little buddy. And Ravik will find indifference. See if they can muster enough caring.
Search for indifference.
Wow, Enigma. You and Ravik are such close friends now. That's so kind.
Oh, is that what they're called?
I mean, he's doing a lot of favors for you. That's nice, right?
Oh, yes. That's what friends do? Okay.
Yeah. I think. I like to look at everyone.
You just taught him completely the wrong lesson.
Is that
That's
not
fascinating?
What should I say it's based on? That's pretty much what I do.
Oh no, I think you should leave it like it is, and let's wait for Ravik to come back.
Oh, okay.
So
Sure.
Ravik, you go off in search of indifference, and you find a simulacrum of Indira kind of like sitting off in a corner of the dormitory area. And if they could be a teenager playing on a Game Boy, they would be, but those don't exist in this realm. So it's just that energy, right? And they're sitting there kind of just like waving a finger across like a spectral image, and they're just like kind of drawing like symbols and things, and they don't even look up at your approach.
Indifference. I need a favor. Can we get some fish for the winged cat as soon as possible? He's very particular about his meals these days, apparently.
Nothing is stopping you from going to the the lake and grabbing your own fish.
Nothing was stopping me from saving you and getting you back here.
I believe you are referring to the other aspects. I was never so decisive as to go off to find myself disconnected.
Aren't you all the same part of a whole?
Sure, but you asked, can we? And there is nothing stopping you.
Just point the way, please.
Oh, the lake? You want to go catch a fish?
No. I'm sure the kitchen has fish that can be prepared.
Oh, well, hold on 1 second. And she casts a spell. And a moment later, popping into the room, Indira's joy is oh, Ravik, you needed something. Indifference said that you were being annoying.
Yes, a honored guest is easy to annoy. I just need fish for our little winged friend.
Oh, absolutely. Fish. Indifference. Did you cook? Of course not. All right. And Indira's joy disappears, and you can leave Indifference if you like. But a moment later, she reappears, and there is some a plate with a smattering of fish that looks very much kind of like what she had put together the night before.
Oh, I hate to
leftover fish.
I think he prefers raw fish, honestly.
Oh, well, there is.
Maybe I hold on to this one, and if we can get some raw fish to sort of accompany and elevate his breakfast experience.
Absolutely, absolutely. Anything for our favorite guests. And she leaves again and will return. As you return to the table, Enigma has eaten all of the food that was on your plate.
Little bastard.
Well, there was no fish, so I'm good now.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll eat the fish that's here.
Robert sees that like a herring. It's raw ass fish.
No, it's the cooked stuff. She's getting the raw stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I'm still appreciative. Okay, all right. Should we talk about what our next steps are going to be with Indira's last aspect?
Well, I'm not a big strategist, but I am going to wager that it involves the hedge maze in some way.
I think that's correct.
No way to guess what will await us, so I guess we just have to go in and find out the hard way.
Well, Enigma, might you have any insight what we might be facing?
Not really. Confusion isn't really my domain, as it were. So it could all be just up in the air, you know. What you guys encountered before, what was the effect that was happening in the maze where you were?
If I remember right, Josh, it was like the part we were in, it was the opposite of everything we were doing.
It's like time reversal.
Yes. Yeah, time reversal.
Yeah, all the spells worked backwards.
Oh, okay. So reversing time. So Toothalimus's maze could also speed up time, make it flow faster, or could just slow time, or stop it altogether. So, you know, you're probably facing off of whatever confusion might do to any of those effects.
Well, it sure sounds confusing already.
It sure is.
I'm ready whenever you all are. And you'll say like made tea and like helped finish the breakfast for everyone and make it look nice. He didn't eat anything, but he like helped it not look like shit.
Well, you all get advantage on a con saving your first con save of the day.
Yeah, it's probably be useful.
Thank you, Indulacite.
Thank you, Indulacite.
You're always very thoughtful.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Well, that's what friends do.
exactly, right?
Here's
I'm like
what-
looking like, is this right?
And it goes,
Yes.
now, is there an exchange to this, or is it just you doing nice things for other people?
Well, no,
just
you should.
do
Yeah,
nice
you
things
should
because
do.
it's a nice thing to do.
Yeah, exactly, and you shouldn't
Oh.
expect anything in return, but they can
Oh,
return the favor.
okay.
If
Or then Ravik should not expect anything in return.
I look at Ravik.
Yeah, you could. Well,
Anyway,
if you're not going to help out, you might as well just stay here, little guy. So,
He
today
jumps
we'll-
up into your back, like curls up.
Some would say that your presence is gift enough.
He's
They have
already
said
got
that
a
before.
Sense of self. Let's not add to it.
you did say he
I didn't
was
say that
helpful
we were some of the people that
last
said.
time. Yeah, I mean,
That is fair. That is fair.
just don't go jumping on any rocks.
Well, I guess if we're ready.
I'm ready.
All right.
And I like pull up my broom
Your broom.
and I use it, even though I don't have to.
Just Angela's like slowly flying next to you all as you're walking.
Yes, the exact same speed as normal.
Right. So you walk outside, and today is the first day.
In my mind, it's making the sound of the Jetsons vehicle.
Oh my god.
That's pretty cute. That's pretty cute. I like that.
So today is the first day that you've been here where the sun isn't like brightly shining in the space. You can tell that the world outside, there's an overcast, and there is like rain falling, but it's not penetrating through the dome into this space. So you can just see like, you know, hundreds of feet above you. Now you can actually see the dome as water's hitting it and running off the side around. And you can probably gather from that that all of the plant life in here is being fed magically with either water through like an aquifer system or something that Indira has created. But there's a cloudy grayness to the early morning as you head out into the courtyard and then around and up through to the maze portion, entering in where you the exit that Tuthalamus had created. You find yourselves back at that inner area with the fountain now flowing normally and not backwards, and the space is protected, but now there are branching pathways that head off towards the kind of the eastern side of the maze, and then another one that heads further north towards that tower off in the distance.
So we do save the tower for last.
Seems logical.
Yep,
I think
feel
so.
that,
Yeah.
All right. So you guys
before
go ahead,
we
yeah.
before we head out, Josh, I give Lucky I give you a little gold ear cuff. And
Oh.
you get it. It has a shield in it. Here you go.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it might get dangerous. So
I will be sure. Well, I don't know if it's something that I'm like, wow, I'm so excited to use it, because if I use it, then that means that something is attacking me, which I don't usually wish would happen, but
I don't wish
I
that
have
happens
to assume
either.
that that is the
Yeah.
case, so I am
Oh,
excited.
yes. Okay. I'm glad you like it. Okay.
And Dilson, I've been thinking about this.
Mm-hmm.
Given your weight, in case that ever proves problematic, and I give you the potion of gaseous form.
Oh, nice. I like take this.
Yes, I realize how bad that sounded, Jess.
It was just a very funny way to word it, Rob. I'm sorry.
No, that was deliberate. That was you're not from around here. How would you say it? The worst way possible.
That was incredible, and I really loved it.
Did you make this?
No, we
got
found
it.
it. But I
Okay,
think.
thank you. Yeah.
Although now that you have your broom, you may not need it. But
well, it depends. If I had to carry something, or the broom is like pretty at capacity with just me. So,
or if you have to fit through a very small space, you could use this. You could go through a keyhole.
Or if it's something, yes, there's definitely a lot of circumstances it's useful. Thank you. All right, now we can venture on. Exchange goods.
All right, so you all head towards the eastern path, and kind of part of the maze here is still tamed by Tuthalamus's presence, and so that is you're just walking through normal hedges. There's beautiful plant growth, occasionally like small little statues of, like different forest entities or things in the space. But eventually the feeling of the area changes, and that feeling of constantly being watched by something begins to feed in, and you can see like a wildness beginning to grow within the maze itself, and the pathways become a little bit more confusing as you're looking through here. Who is leading our expedition through the maze?
I think Bonnie would be out in front.
Okay. Then Bonnie, go ahead and make either a survival or a perception check as you're guiding the group.
We're going to go with perception on this one.
Can I help?
I got a 19.
Okay, 19. Okay, so as you are kind of going through, the first thing that you notice that's slightly odd, Bonnie, is you're kind of walking through and picking paths through the maze, moving in just like a generally eastern direction. When Andalus sent Dottie up in the air the last time you were here, you got a general overview of the maze and kind of can provide direction in that way. But you see like there's some flowers at the end of this path as you're walking through. And by the time you pass by them, the flowers have wilted and turned to like brown and have retreated. You watched the entire growth cycle of these flowers over the course of the 100 feet or so that you walked past them. As the first like big thing that you notice as you're making your way through this area.
Bonnie checks her armpit.
Checks her armpit?
For what?
She's thinking she smelled so bad the flowers wilted.
Oh my god, my brain was like, does she think her arm hair is growing really fast? And I was like, what is her arm hair? No, I'm sorry.
Bonnie walked by to the flower wall and she's like,
I had the most cursed thought, basically.
It's all fur.
That's true.
Lord.
Keep it natural, baby.
But
I'm not.
Yeah.
We're in the
It's not like the sun is like
advancement
doing
section.
that to us, is it?
But it's a magical space.
So it's still gray and overcast, and like you don't see a dramatic movement of the sun in like up above. Yeah. Now you saw Tuthalamus do that the last time you were here, like turned night to day, but like it doesn't seem to be occurring at that level here. Yeah.
It's a localized effect.
Yeah, it seems more localized.
So we're probably not aging super fast. It's just the environment we're in is in weird.
Technically, you might be aging super fast. It's just would it be difficult to tell if a year? I mean, the flower ages crazy fast, but
Mm-hmm.
you could just lose 2 years. And
It would be hard. It'd be hard to know if you
a lot
lost
of
2 years.
races
Yeah.
that it wouldn't matter that much.
Yeah. But as you are walking through, kind of, you don't pick up on any dangers as you're going. But eventually, you get to a point where it's very clear that like you are now leaving one section of the maze and heading into a different section, as there is a large stone archway. Where the hedge maze is like it grows right up to it and then has partially kind of wrapped around the base, and then the archway rises up out of it to a point with a keystone, and there's a gem set in the keystone, and then there's carvings all down the side which depict like different like sphinx imagery, like winged lions and things going all off down the side. And through this gate, you can see beyond that the kind of the tenor or the structure of the maze slightly changes. That like there's now seems to be like a creek or a river that kind of flows through this section, and there's a couple places where stone bridges and like wooden bridges are built over this, and you're kind of hopping from like island to island through this, and those islands are spread off in different directions, moving in all different spaces, and so the maze is now like open, but there's many pathways that go through this kind of open air garden with like a creek delta with all these islands cut across through it.
So basically, we could see an island and want to go to it, but there may not be a bridge that goes.
Right, you might have to
there,
like
so we'd have to
pass through various different points. Yeah. With a 19 on your perception, the thing that you're like looking through the gate, the thing that you notice is each of the islands has like a not a cauldron, but like a basin at the center of the island, so there are like from your vision there are 6 of these within this room or this area.
go check one out.
Okay.
Yeah, Blind's gonna look inside one.
All right. So you all walk through the gate, and the moment you pass through, you feel like this like energy that kind of shuts off the exit. And as you're kind of standing looking around at the space, I need everybody to make a wisdom saving throw. And let me know if you get above a 14.
What saving throw?
Wisdom.
We have advantage on the first one of these, or is that con?
That's only con. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I got above 14. I got a 17.
Mm-hmm.
I needed that advantage because I went from a 4 to a nat 20.
Oh, you didn't have advantage though.
I got a 15.
I do as a photographer.
Oh, you do. That's right. Yeah. What'd you get, Robbie?
Used to seeing weird shit.
Okay.
Unfazed.
Yeah. So everybody got above a 14. Okay.
No, I got a 7.
Okay. So, so Lucky, Ravik, Andalis, and Kieran. So Bonnie, you walk through the gate and you don't notice immediately anything except that like when you were looking through the gate, the space seemed like one size, but the moment you step into it, it's almost like the entire locale expands in size and scope, and that what seemed to be a small creek delta is now like a raging river delta, and these islands are separated by like 20 or 30 feet of bridge space that goes across over to each island, and you can tell like the hedge itself grows around all of this, and like there's portions where the hedge is like growing over the river and spreading out, and it forms this kind of octagonal like structure around. And then at the very far end, you can see another one of these arched gateways that's going through, and off the opposite side, there's this like dull blue glow coming from that gate. And you recognize the blue from the rune structure that was in the first section that you were in. So that's what you see, Bonnie. Everyone else, the moment you step through the gate, like you stand for a moment, and like Lucky, you like turn to look to one side, and then you like look to the other side, and while you're looking, you see like an after image of yourself doing the look before you do.
Oh,
and then a moment later, you see like a bluish version of yourself step out of you and begin to run down like this like coastline area here to one of the bridges and start to cross it at the same time that another one goes straight ahead to the bridge in front of you, and another one goes off to the third bridge off to the left. And as you're kind of watching, you just kind of see like 30 seconds of the future of all of the potential branching choices that you could have made in this moment. None of those seem to, in the next 30 seconds, arrive in some kind of catastrophe. But like time is, while it is moving faster in this space, it's also moving faster for
it's showing you
it's moving faster for your future self. And so yeah.
Okay.
So your future self is moving ahead of you.
Okay.
And Ravik, here, and Bonnie, you see, or Andalus, you see something very similar happening with you.
Well, this place is just huge.
What?
It's gonna take us a lot more time than I thought it was gonna.
Okay, is anybody else seeing like this weird after image, pre-image?
Definitely seeing that.
In God's holy name are you all blathering about?
You don't see it?
What God holy name are you talking about?
I think Bonnie may be looking at the shadow on the wall right now.
Oh, just take my hand, Bonnie. I'll lead you through.
Okay. No,
so which way do we go?
There's 3 bridges that come off of this central island. There's one that's...
I know. I was asking.
I'm describing the 3 bridges for you guys so you can kind of see as you're looking. One to the far left is just a simple like rope bridge with wooden planks that go across to one of the islands.
There's not an old man in the middle of it asking us 3 questions.
No, there's one in front of you that is looks like stone masonry, and then the one further to the right looks like a mixture of wood and metallic. So there's like a metal structure with wood slats that go across it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the wood.
So we go across
one.
the stone one because if time accelerates, it's the one least likely to rot out from underneath us.
Aaron, I like the way you think. Let's
go
with that one.
Let's go check out the caldera.
Okay, so you guys approach the stone pathway, and as you're doing that, like you kind of see your future selves, like all 5 of you had a version of yourself that crossed over to this island, and it's like walking across the bridge in front of you. But the deeper you go into this space, the further they get ahead from you. So like you're able to see a little bit further the deeper you go into the space. And so you cross over the stone bridge, and while you're crossing, there's just a couple moments where you like hear like creaks or shudders within the bridge, like you are watching like the masonry lines on the bridge kind of crack and show wear and tear as you're crossing through. Andalus on the broom, I assume. Okay. But you all fly across or walk across.
With you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dottie on the broom.
Yeah, she sits on the broom.
Yeah, she's perched on the broom.
Figurehead.
It's adorable. Well, there's a figurehead, and then she's
just like she's doing. I'm flying, Andalus. I'm flying.
Wow, that's great.
But you guys arrive on the opposite bank, and like the river rushing around you very quickly. And this area looks like it was once a like beautifully manicured garden around this central basin. But as you step foot onto it, you watch as like each of your forms kind of go off into different directions. There's bridges that are connecting to three other islands from this one, and they're going off in those other directions. Lucky, you see one version of yourself walk up to the caldera, as you and Kieran, like, you each kind of see a version of yourselves that explore the caldera area. But Kieran, you said you wanted to go up to the caldera. So Lucky, as you're watching Kieran, you see him kind of walk up and get to the point where his future form had also done the same thing. Kieran, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw as you are now in the space of one of your future projections.
That one's cocked. And you have to honor the cock.
You do.
That's a 15 plus 2, so 17.
Yeah. So, Kieran, what you see is like, you don't see it before you get right up to it, but like you had seen all of your shapes kind of go off and they fade after a certain period of time passes. But when you get to this moment, you realize that one of your future selves got here and for some reason was frozen. And you pause right before you cross into the space where he was. And he's still standing there a moment after you realize that he's still standing there.
Can I kind of edge around it?
Yeah, so you walk around and make a perception check while you're doing that.
Perception plus 5. Which 7, so that's a 12.
A 12. Yeah, so as you kind of go around, you're looking and you see that there are stones set around this basin, and he seems to be standing right on top of one of the stones. And as you're looking at him, you suddenly see like these vines are growing around his legs and are wrapping up around his body and are about to kind of like get up to his head and neck. And as you're watching, you watch the vines grab around Kieran's head and that version of Kieran vanishes from space.
Oh.
Don't step on the stones.
Oh, okay.
That will be bad. What's at the bottom of this thing?
Okay, so you're kind of peering over into the basin, and inside you see a perfectly formed rose. It is like it's very like Beauty and the Beast floating in space. But you see this like perfectly formed red rose, and it is just kind of rotating slowly in space there. And as you're watching, like, it doesn't age or change. It is like, it seems like protected from the time difference here.
Andula's sight, I believe you on your broom might be the best to handle this.
I can certainly try. Let's scoot over there, see if I can get that rose.
Okay. So you fly over the basin and you're kind of above the rose, and you are able to grab it. And as the moment you pick it up, you feel like your hand passing through some kind of like arcane ward or protection that's on the basin. And you pass through, and then you pull out your hand and you've got the rose in your hand, but you can tell that when you passed through, that your hand was in a different temporal plane than the rest of your body. And you kind of like, you pulled it up, and holding it, Andalus, you realize like whatever was protecting this rose from the effects of time, it no longer has that protection. There's a reason that it was in that space.
Oh, it was preserving it there. This had some weird magic on it. Does it seem arcane now that I'm holding it?
You can make an Arcana check.
Yeah. Everybody stand back. I don't know what this shit is. I got 10.
A 10. Yeah, you're not sure. Like, it seems like just a normal rose. But like there was something, like it was put here for a purpose, put here for a reason. And you're not quite sure.
Should we take this or should I put it back, guys?
I'm wondering if we're supposed to gather things from these calderas to take to the other archway.
That would make sense.
Well, let's see what the other ones have.
All right, be really careful. There's some kind of temporal magic on the things they're on.
Yeah. You can put the rose back in the caldera if you want to, or the basin.
Nah, I'll put it back if we don't need it.
Okay, so you take it with you for now? Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So
surely that can't go wrong, Josh. Why not?
So exploring kind of the remainder of this section, there doesn't seem to be anything else on this first island. This island then connects to 3 other islands, like one off to the left, one to the right, and one kind of straight ahead from where you were originally. There are 2 wooden bridges on this one, and then one of the metallic with wooden planks going straight ahead.
I say we take the one with the metallic and walk over the metal so that if the wood erodes away, we're able to play balance beam.
Okay. As you guys are leaving this one, everybody make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, jeez.
Who's right next to me? Wait, no, I don't think that works. Never mind.
Okay, yeah.
I don't ask this question.
What do we have to beat?
17.
Let me know if you beat a 15.
Yes.
I beat it.
Okay, so everybody except for Andalus this time. So Andalus, you've been watching like versions of yourself flying off in all directions. And as you approach this metallic bridge, suddenly those versions all vanish from your view. Like they just kind of fade into nothing. But everyone else, you're still seeing them. Bonnie, you see yourself kind of going across this bridge in front of you, and you see like 3 different versions of yourself going through here. And one of them like suddenly vanishes and disappears as something happens and they fall into the river below and get washed away. But the others seem to make it across the bridge successfully.
Okay, I definitely just saw that thing you all were talking about just now.
Right, it's freaky.
So
definitely.
Right.
Okay.
I'll not do the one that results in me falling off of the bridge.
Okay. So you start moving across the bridge, and like you step onto the bridge, and everything seems fine as you're walking across. You can tell that like with each step that you're taking, the longer that you're on the bridge, the wooden planks are becoming more brittle and more brittle and more brittle beneath your feet.
Start moving faster.
Okay, so you start moving faster, and Bonnie, you realize like part of the way through that the thing that was different between the one that fell into the water and the others is that the others were moving much quicker. And you all quickly dash across the bridge. And let's see, so who would be at the back end? It would be, so Bonnie's leading the party. Who would be at the tail end?
I'd be closer to the back, especially if I was like.
And you're on your broom. You're on your broom, so that's. Who else? Who would be second to the back?
Maybe Ravik.
Okay. So Ravik.
I feel like I'd be middle.
Middle. Okay. So
Yeah, I've typically taken up behind Bonnie.
Yeah. So Lucky and
meat shield in
Ravik
front.
make dexterity saving throws as Kieran and Bonnie, you move quickly and you're able to make it through, but you can just feel like not only by the end of the bridge on the other side, those wooden planks are beginning to disintegrate under your feet, but you can see that the metal structure is beginning to rust and part of it is beginning to buckle in places. Lucky and Ravik, dexterity saving throw.
What did you say it was? Dexterity?
Dexterity, yeah.
Yeah.
I got a 20.
Okay.
A
I got
20.
a 5.
A 5.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
So as Kieran and Bonnie, as you're kind of rushing across to the other side, you suddenly hear a crack as one of the wooden planks begins to give away, and you see Lucky try to like jump out of the way and grab onto one of the metal portions, but this separates from the bridge itself, and Lucky is in the process of falling. Kieran and Ravik have a moment to react. You can make acrobatics or dexterity checks to see if you can react in time.
Okay.
Try and grab.
Yep.
Yes.
What am I rolling?
Either an acrobatics check or a dexterity check.
Oh my god. I rolled a natural one.
A natural one.
Hey.
Wow,
Angel
you took
said-
that rejection hard.
Angel looks disappointed in you when he sees that.
7, so that's
He tried.
14.
A 14. So as Lucky is like, you reach out and grab the metal pole, and you are in the process of using it to strengthen yourself, to pull yourself up from the broken board, and the rusted base of it snaps away, and you just suddenly see like the raging river beneath you is there. Kieran, Ravik tries to jump to catch you, and his board snaps under his feet, so he just like face plants down as the momentum of his jump snapped the board, and you hit down. But Kieran, you're able to kind of whip around and you grab out at Lucky. 14 is not enough to completely save Lucky, but it is time to give Lucky a chance for a strength or dexterity saving throw to try to use Kieran's momentum to save yourself. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. This time I rolled a 5, so that's an 8.
An 8. Okay.
I decide it's up to you.
All right. So Kieran, you reach out to grab Lucky, and suddenly like
just let me go.
Yeah, the the wooden plank underneath you begins to give way, and suddenly like it shifts just enough that Lucky's your grasp loosens, and Lucky tries to grab onto your wrist to hold on, but it slips out from, and you all watch as Lucky suddenly releases and splashes into the raging river below. And
so as I'm falling, I'm not going to do this like before because that would be retroactive. But what skill is like swimming? Is that like strength or dexterity?
It's strength.
Okay, I cast enhance ability on myself as I'm falling to give myself strength.
Sure.
So I'm just like, Okay.
Perfect. Okay. So Lucky suddenly like disappears under the water, and like you all just see a splash and then nothing as the river kind of rages past. Lucky, you suddenly like you are in the way, the turmoil of the water. It's kind of flipping you around and pushing you in different directions. There's a couple like rocks that it slams you into as you're moving, and you take 2 points of bludgeoning damage as you're able to kind of get your bearings. But then suddenly you pop back up, and you all see Lucky pop back up about 20 or 30 feet down the river. And you turn around, Lucky, and you see that there are 3 islands that you are going to pass before this river goes under the maze, the hedge, and you do not know where it goes from there. So you have a choice first. Do you want to hang to the right of the river or the left? The left has 1 island, the right has 2.
Josh, can I try to do something to help too?
Yeah, sure.
The one with 2 islands.
Okay, so you go to the right. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and then what are you gonna do?
I'll go stand. I'll get off the broom and stand on the thing, and it can fly at 50 feet speed. So I want to send out the broom. I can send out the broom up to a mile. So
from yourself. Okay, cool.
I will send it out to Lucky to try to get to Lucky.
Okay, so you go stand on the other island on the other side, and then send out the broom. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So Lucky, you've got 2 opportunities here to make strength or athletics checks to swim up like against the river enough that you can grab onto one of the islands and pull yourself up onto one of the islands.
Okay.
So make your first athletics check with advantage because you have enhanced ability.
Quick and danger.
I've rolled the same number twice. That's kind of incredible.
My God.
It's kind of incredible. No, it's not as bad this time.
Okay.
It's a 13.
A 13. Okay. So as you're kind of rushing by, you are like, this island is like overgrowing with vines, and you kind of like reach up to try to like grab one of the vines, and it's holding you there. 13 is not enough to like pull yourself up, but that is enough time to halt your progress enough for Andalus's broom to like arrive at your location. So you can reach up and grab Andalus's broom and kind of like pull yourself up using the broom to like fly up a little bit out of the water. And the other island is right there next to you if you want to kind of set down onto it.
Well, I can say the command word and it can come back to us too. The broom's great.
I'm kind of curious about this island.
Okay,
so go for it.
I hop off.
All right. So Ravik, Andalus, Kieran, and Bonnie, you are on the second island, and there is another basin here. This island also looks like it once was a beautifully like manicured garden, but while the other one was like overgrown and wild, this one now like you can just see like the plants are dead, like the rocks that were lining the pathways are kind of crumbling into gravel. The only thing here that doesn't seem affected by the passage of time is the central basin.
I say we don't spend a lot of time on this island.
I absolutely agree with you, Ravik.
So which one of us wants to make the dash to grab whatever's in the middle?
I've had a full life and Bonnie sprints off.
Miss Bonnie, no.
Okay.
Oh, this is Bonnie. Don't do that.
Bonnie, you see three of your selves kind of shoot off in three different directions here, and are kind of looking around the island. One of them goes forward to the basin, and with Kieran's original knowledge that like there's areas around the basin that are potentially dangerous, you stop at the edge and you look in, and at the center of this basin you see a this one is a lily. There's a lily floating around, kind of untouched by the passage of time, floating in the center of the island or in the basin.
Okay, I could grab the lily and bring it back.
Okay, so the only way that you would have enough leverage to get there is if you stood at the edge of the basin and reached in, or you could jump up onto the basin, avoiding the stones. Those are the only two ways that you could get in. Like the basin is just tall enough. It's like 5 feet. And then with like reaching over down into it, like it's designed to make you stand right at the edge of it in order to get to the base.
Okay, hang on. Let me think about this. Was there anything really different about this lily?
So the other one was like a perfect representation of a rose. This is like a perfect representation of a white lily.
Okay, I'm gonna use my staff of flowers and I'm gonna make it.
Okay, you just make a lily.
I make a lily that like perfectly looks like the lily that's in the...
Okay, yeah, you leave the one that's floating in the basin, and you make one. Andalus, as you are stepping onto this island, you like the rose in your hand begins to crumble and turn brown, and then crumbles and fades to nothing.
Well, that's probably not good.
Or it could be very good.
I wipe it off my hands. Yeah, my bad.
Okay.
Because if these things are keeping a shield up.
I hope that didn't belong to someone. It's really awkward. They should really put it in a little bit better storage.
Yeah.
Maybe like a little glass case on top of it, you know? Like...
A glass case is a horrible idea. It's not alive. I mean, there's no light getting to it. It isn't. Anyway, that's
Right.
All right. Good. Next one.
All right. Lucky, while you're on yours, this is island 7. So as you're looking at this island, like there's no growth other than like those vines that were stretching over the edge. You can tell weren't actually vines. They were like leftover root structures from what had grown wild on this island. But now like those like shrubby dark masses are all that remain at the edge. The further you go into the island towards the base, more and more of this island is just like dusty and dry and just dirt. But the perfectly formed like structure of the basin is completely intact.
Oh. Okay. Then I move towards the basin.
As you're looking in, kind of keeping your edge from the side where those stone basins were, you look over and inside you see a snapdragon.
Oh.
So it's like
get it.
It's a like a long stalk with like several flowers coming up off of it. Okay. So you can. The only way, again, like to reach into the basin would be to stand right at the edge. Or if you want to, like, you can jump over the stones at the edge and grab the side of the basin and like pull yourself up to get inside.
I have enhance ability. I do that.
Good,
too
yeah.
confidently for someone with a strength of +0.
Yeah. Well, but the enhance ability helps enough that your jump is fine. But go ahead and make an athletics check just to like, I'm holding on to the basin as you're reaching in to grab the snapdragon.
That is a 15.
15, perfect. Yeah, so you're able to like reach in and grab the snapdragon, and you didn't grab the rose. Okay, so you feel that same feeling of like like the moment your hand passes into the basin, it's difficult to describe like what it feels to be a temporal individual. It's not something that you've ever had to consider because you've always lived within the exact same flow of time, but you can tell that your hand passing through is moving at a much slower pace of time than the rest of your body. Like it's almost like like when you put your hands into water and you see that weird refraction of water where it looks like your hand kind of like breaks into another space. Like your hand does that, but you feel that process happening. And like, you push out, you grab the snapdragon, and as you're pulling back, your hand is like catching up with time that you're in. It's like this reverse process. But with just that, that like the space around you is moving at a much faster space of time than what is in that basin. And it's the first time, Lucky, I think that you are worried.
Okay. So when I come down, is it like okay?
Yeah, so you push off of the basin and you land in kind of the dust around the basin, and you've got the snapdragon in your hand, and you kind of look back across at the next island over where your friends are, and like while you were looking up to hold that, the snapdragon turns to dust and fades away.
Okay.
We might have
Very
to move.
cool.
We might have to
Very
move.
nice.
Why don't we get Andulasite to fly a recon mission to the end of this thing to see if it's like, oh, we've got to get one of these and transfer it to this other thing, or if when we take these, a shield is somehow weakening.
Yeah. So you guys are on, like, there's 10 islands. You've moved from the first island to the second. There's one more island directly ahead of you before the opposite side of the, like, if you kept going on that straight line that you guys have been passing. So Andalus could conceivably fly over that third island to that other doorway if you wanted them to.
Yeah, I can scout. I mean, the time stuff doesn't affect me as much as you all. Hopefully.
It'd be nice to know what we're working towards.
Yeah, Robert will pass the messages along psychically with his warlock ability and see if Andulasite's comfortable with it.
You could just ask me out loud, but yeah, it's fine.
Oh, I thought we weren't. I thought we were on different islands.
Oh, no. Lucky's the only one who's on a
island.
different island. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you flew.
That's just
over.
nice that you wanted to talk to me privately. I understand.
Yeah, that's it.
That's really sweet. I'm glad that we're bonding.
Robert, are you going on another date?
With me?
No,
I fly away. Okay, goodbye.
Okay. as you watch as Andalus kind of lifts off and flies away, Lucky, there is a bridge that connects the island that you're on back to the island of your friends. It is a stone bridge if you wanted to test it.
I do.
Okay. So you make your way over to the stone bridge and you start waking your way across it. And what you notice, Lucky, is like you can still see your future selves moving, but there's a moment going from the island that you're on to the island that your friends are on where instead of bluing ahead of you, the figures start to turn red and are actually falling behind you. That they are moving now at a slower pace of time than you are as you move across this to the third island or the second island that your friends are on. And you almost feel like something changes where the temporal, like that temporal feeling is beginning to match more what was in the basin, that like time is slower on the island that your friends are on than it was on the island that you were on.
Right. Okay.
But
yeah, I mean, I keep going forward.
Cool. And there's you almost kind of see the bridge is like beginning the process of falling apart, but the further you go across it, the more it seems to kind of repair itself or knit itself. And that like the aging process isn't reversing. It's just that time isn't moving as quickly. And so it's not falling apart as quickly for you. But Andalus, as you fly across, so you're flying across Island 3, and you do you pause to look in the basin before you go, or do you make your way straight through?
Yeah, I just see if it's a flower.
Okay, it is.
Okay, keep going.
And with your eye, you know it's nightshade. But you arrive at the opposite bank. And here looks very much like the bank that you left on the other side, like well kept. There's a little bit of that wildness to the hedge itself just because it's been overtaken by confusion. But it's not like you kind of feel like you're leaving like a bubble behind where time was. And it's still moving faster, but it's not like with a clock heartbeat almost, like, you know, that like your heart doesn't keep pace because it's a muscle spasm. Your heart keeps pace because it is a magical clockwork entity, that your clock is moving a little bit slower than it was when you were on the island with your friends. But you get to the other side and there is a stone arch, and the stone arch has, there are 15 blocks that make up the stone arch. There's 7 that go up on either side and then 1 at the middle. And there are images of flowers on all of the blocks, save 4 of them. No, sorry. All of the blocks have a flower on them. And so you've got like different flowers that are kind of going up, and go ahead and make a perception check or an investigation check as you're looking at the thing.
Where's my sheet? There you go. I got a 20.
A 20. Yeah. So kind of glancing at this, you can tell that every single one of these is like it's not an engraving. It's like it pops out of the stone, but you can tell
bas relief. There's
like a bas relief. Yeah. But you can tell that like you could push those reliefs in on each of those stones.
Cool.
And it's enough for you to know that like each of those stones had like there's the representation of rose, lily, nightshade, morning glory, marigold, a bleeding heart, a snapdragon, a bluebell, an orchid, chamomile, a lily of the valley, which is different than a lily, and then what are those called? My brain just a powder, like what are those powder balls, powder puffs, like whatever's and a dandelion. So there's like the 14 flower representations, and each one of those flower representations kind of like is a bas relief off of the stone, but you can tell that like there's like grooves on them where like if you could press on them if you wanted to.
Can I go ahead and try to press on the rose and the other one
the rose and the lily?
Yeah, that we messed with.
Yeah, sure. So you kind of reach up and you find the rose and you press it. And as it slides in, the rose symbol begins to glow, and it's like a reddish glow with the green stem. It's almost like a minor image of a rose begins to float like right in that space, right in front of the stone. And the same thing happens with the lily.
Now,
Atwood
didn't actually. I mean, Bonnie didn't actually take the lily. They just
I made a new one. Yeah.
Yep.
So it does the same thing.
I may do it for any of these I press. I press the next one.
So the next one down.
Like a random one.
So the rose is on the left, the lily was on the right. So you've got, so directly above rose on the left is marigold.
Sure, I'll press that to see.
Okay, so you press marigold and it goes in, and a marigold begins to appear and float there.
Not the trick of it. Okay, I will go back to tell them of what I found.
Okay, so you go back to your groups. Now you're all back together on this is Island 2 with the lily. And Andalus describes the 14 stones, each with its own separate flower, and the way the kind of how that works.
So it lights up no matter whether one's there or not there.
Seemingly.
And haven't we noticed that time moves differently on the different islands as well? Do the different flowers represent a different, movement of time, or?
They're preserved only on their island. We try to take them to different islands, and where the time just gets away from them that fast.
What else
Is there any effect on Bonnie's flower that she made? Is it still or is it starting
so
to wilt?
You guys are on Island 2. Yeah, so Bonnie, by this point, the flower that you created has begun to wilt.
The time that the island that Lucky was on, where they took the thing out, time moved faster.
Mm-hmm.
Did time move faster on the island with the rose when we took it out?
No, so it's a weird thing for to describe. Andalus would be the best judge of this. On the island with the rose, your heart was moving like 10% faster than it normally does. The island with the lily, your heart was moving about 30% faster than it normally does.
What about the other island they flew over?
As you flew over that one, that's Island 3. The heart was moving about 50% faster than it normally does.
That's really bad. Interesting.
Did Rob?
It's too out there, but
just say it.
I'm wondering if the time difference on the island is the sequence of flowers to press.
All of you can make an intelligence check too, if you'd like to.
Sure, we're so smart. Okay, we're really smart.
Because you've got a lot of you have a lot of clues ahead of you, and so an intelligence check will determine like whether you're piecing some of those clues together.
I got a 17.
17?
I got a 6.
I mean, flowers.
Bonnie has no idea. Yeah. Anybody
13.
else? 13.
Intelligence dump stat party. Let's go.
I know. Yeah.
I want to say that roses have something to do with love.
It depends, Bonnie, because different colors mean different things. So you can't just make a blanket statement about like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can make a serious faux pas.
Rosemary is for what?
Chrysanthemums mean somebody died. I know that for sure.
Well, that also depends on what culture you're in. He like starts like nerding the fuck out about this.
And the entire time you're doing that, you're feeling your heart beating faster than it should. With 17,
maybe we should go back to Rose Island where it's 10% while we figure this out. Go ahead.
Yes,
Sorry.
Jace?
No, what do you mean chrysanthemums for when people die? Do you mean carnation? Is that what you mean?
That might be what I meant. Yeah, that's right.
I'm not here. This is Chase.
You're here now.
I was losing my mind at what you were thinking.
oh, chrysanthemums are like royal flowers. Yeah.
Peace lilies are for funerals. That's like the most common plant for
Whatever's in Guys and Dolls and starts with the C.
Yep. All right. So Andalus with a 17 intelligence. The thing that gets you is like each one of these islands, and there's 10 islands, each has a flower represented in the basin. Mm-hmm. But there were 14 blocks on the archway.
True.
So you get the sense that like being able to know which flowers are in this space and connect to the archway is probably the most important thing that you could figure out.
Oh, we have to find the 2 false flowers.
There's 4 false flowers.
Or 4 false flowers. Okay. That makes this easier.
And in that case, I say we all get to the very end and let Andulicite fly over and call out the flower, and we'll press them as they go.
What if I get in trouble? What if something happens to me?
We'll save you.
Okay.
We're not going to leave you hanging in the
Yeah. As you all begin to make your move, everyone make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
God.
Let me know if you get above a 17.
Which aspect is this we're trying to rescue?
Confusion.
I got an 18.
Is this appropriately confusing?
Wow. Sorry, I got higher.
Oh, that's
and I'm mad about it.
Nice.
Double 7, so 9.
9. Okay, so Kieran doesn't. Ravik?
I got it's wisdom.
Yeah.
A 9.
Okay, so Ravik and Kieran don't. Lucky, Andalus, and Bonnie, as this plan kind of comes to fruition and you're like, okay, we're all going to move over to the island 3 and then on to the element. You see that like the parts of yourselves that are moving into the future suddenly split up. And like Lucky goes off in one direction, Ravik in one direction, Andalus, Bonnie, Kieran, like that version of yourselves decided to split the party. Bonnie heads off over to the islands to the right. And as you're watching Bonnie, you see like stepping onto the island, you take like a step and then another step, and you just watch as Bonnie turns to bone and then dust and fades away.
Oh no.
But you guys push forward to Island 3. And this was a stone bridge, so you're safe crossing it. When you get to Island 3, you pass by the basin where the nightshade is, and then you cross back over to a space where suddenly you feel like time has slowed back to a little bit faster than normal, but not as fast as you've experienced. And Andalus, there are, you guys have explored 3 islands. There's 7 to go.
You see, Andalus was hesitant about this plan and then kind of gets the sense that like everyone is asking him to do this and he is best suited to do it. And then you see he gets a little proud about it. And he's like, don't worry, everyone. I can make sure all of you will stay safe.
Thank you. And we've seen 4. We've seen Rose, Snapdragon, Lily, and Nightshade.
Yes. Which, with Lucky's knowledge, you can press the Snapdragon. So now you've got Rose, Lily, Nightshade, Snapdragon, and you randomly picked Marigold. And so you have those 5 highlighted on the stone. So you just need to uncover the remaining 5.
I asked Dot if she wants to stay there.
I can go with you, Andalus, but
you stay on the island and then
mortal.
I can contact you. Yeah, exactly. And then I can contact you and that way we can contact about the flowers.
Okay. And you notice like, I don't know how chickens age. But you notice that there's like a little like like lightness around the color on Dot's beak. Like some of the feathers there have lost a little bit of their tone or color.
Oh, no. You see, like, he like puts her firmly into Kieran's arms.
Josh, can I roll a stealth check?
Yeah.
Mr. Rifton, please take care of her.
I shall defend her with my life.
Oh, thank you.
I got a. So that's a 21.
Okay.
Amazing.
I would like to take out a mirror and make sure I didn't get any grays, please.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So you were on island.
While the chicken's happening, you
7.
surreptitiously.
Yeah, no, I like saw the chicken and I was like,
That's so funny.
Yeah, you were on island 7. Okay. So Lucky.
no.
It's a really interesting question. Lucky is 24, 25?
Sounds about right.
Okay.
Yeah, Lucky's like 20. Yeah, Lucky's 24.
24? Okay.
Lucky's 24. Yeah.
And 7. You're still 24. Sure.
What is that?
But what does a 32-year-old Lucky look like?
No! Oh my god, that's so drastic, Josh! Oh no. I think, unfortunately, even hotter, right? Because people get hotter in their 30s. That's like what happens to everybody. That's a canonical fact.
Thank you.
And so I think Lucky has like maybe like filled out a little bit more, you know, how like people have like the baby fat and then they get like really like they squish up and then like when they go tall, and then I think it's like a little more, not fucking like, you know, but I think just a little bit different.
Yeah.
And I immediately am like, my impulse is to be like, oh fuck, I need to talk to, oh, I told him he could not look for his kids. And then I have so much regret.
So yeah, you gained 8 years at the Snapdragon.
Do I know that is an appearance thing or like an actual like physical age thing?
I mean, you don't feel dramatically different. But
right, when you hit 32, your entire body crumbles.
Yes, your knees are a little achy now.
A little worse.
Yeah, your back has this strange pain.
If you've male pattern baldness, you're bald by that point. You may ask me how I know this.
But we are, but you're there.
So do I feel like a little different?
You feel a little older. Mm-hmm.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Andalus, you start
what kind of lily was it, Josh? Sorry.
It was a white lily.
Okay. And then what color rose was it?
Red.
Okay. Sorry, he's doing a thing. Okay, I go around.
Okay. So you take a moment to go around to each one. So Island 4, which is like back at the start, the island to the left that you all didn't go to, you feel like your heart starts to beat like 70% faster as you fly over Island 4. And in Island 4, there's a Morning Glory.
Okay.
And you are telepathically connected to Ravik.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Ravik, well, I will tell Dot, and then Dot can.
Perfect. So, Ravik, while you were telepathically connected to Andalus, Dot suddenly goes, the fourth one was a Morning Glory.
Press.
Okay. The Morning Glory lights up and like the flower begins to float there in illusion. You fly to you've already got Marigold. So you fly over the fifth island, which was the one off to the right from the start. And your heart is now like 90% faster. And as you're flying over it, you see a marigold in the base there. So you can pass by that. Now, the 3 islands on this side that you haven't explored yet, we'll say these are 8, 7, and 10. You fly over to 8, and your heart is 185% faster.
Oh my god.
And the island here is just kind of like wind is kind of whipping across dust. There's nothing growing on this island. But inside of the basin here is Bluebell. And Dottie communicates that over to the group, and you press that.
Bluebell?
Island 7. Oh no, sorry. 7 is the one that... What is this? 1, 2, 3... Oh, my diagram has 11 islands. Sorry.
7.
Yeah, sorry. My diagram had 11, and there are 10. So you fly to the island on the far right, and the moment that you fly over it, you suddenly see, like, as you're entering the bubble, it's almost like the rest of you are watching Andalus fly over this island and then suddenly just like freeze in midair.
Wow.
But Andalus, as you hit the edge of the island, you suddenly see an infinite number of yourselves spread out in all directions and explore around this island and fly off in all spaces. And you are moving so quickly towards the base of the island. It's like you've entered like where time has almost become infinite. Your heart is beating like 800% faster than it should be. Andalus, you have exactly 1 round to get to the center of the island and out before you are trapped here.
Okay. I will get as close as I need to, and then I'll Misty Step.
Perfect. So you fly in, and it's like, even though you are an entity of perfect construction, of a ageless and incorruptible metal, of a divinely created stone heart that houses a magical energy created by whoever it was that created you. You are seeing so many of your infinite selves freeze up, fall to the dirt, and moss and stone growing over you. And it's bringing back very distinct memories from a time before.
Yes.
And this is happening to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're watching hundreds of yourselves not make it to the center of the island. But one of yourselves made the decision to Misty Step. You get to the center of the island, you look down, you see that it is a chamomile.
Should be relaxing.
And as you begin to feel your body freeze up, you Misty Step out of the bubble, and you all watch, like, Andalus like got to the edge and like hung in space there. You couldn't see him moving any further. And then suddenly like backs out again, and is kind of flying back away. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay.
The last 2, you have 2 left, is that right? So you got Rose. You have Rose, Lily, Nightshade, Morning Glory, Marigold, Chamomile, Snapdragon. I think you have and Bluebell. Okay, yeah, so you got 1 left. So the last island that you fly to, your heart, as you leave that island, your heart rate decreases and decreases and decreases. You get to the 9th island, and your heart rate is still much faster, but it's only like 400% faster.
That's great compared to this.
Yeah, as you fly over, it's a black orchid.
Okay.
Ooh.
But as you all press the final button, the 4 flowers that you didn't select are not floating there in space. And suddenly you see like the entire column, like as the stones are rearranging themselves. So those 4 stones that are not lit kind of slide down to the base. and the 5 stones that are lit fly up to the top. And the moment those 5 hit to the top space, that central light begins to glow and pulse. And then whatever magical force field separates this space from the space beyond vanishes. And you guys can walk through.
So it's open.
Mm-hmm.
And Lucky looks 8 years younger.
I fly back.
Yep, you can fly back.
And I touch down. And he's just really quiet and just gonna look down.
In your head, Andalus, you hear Dottie say, "It felt like you were gone a really long time."
It felt like a lot of things.
Are you okay?
Dualisite, we could not have gotten out of here without you and your broom.
I wouldn't want anyone else to have to deal with that.
Thank you.
We should keep moving.
Right. You pass through into the chamber beyond, and stepping through, Lucky, you might surreptitiously check your mirror.
I think so.
You still look the same.
Okay.
Ravik,
Hermit.
Kieran,
Yes.
Bonnie, you feel the same. But looking at them, Lucky, now like seeing your own like chronology change, they all look about 2 years older.
Oh, Lucky is so
It's
fucking
'cause
pissed.
you went to the
Lucky
other
is
island.
so mad. Lucky is
Wait,
so
Josh.
angry.
Question, what would be the other island Lucky would have gone to?
The last island,
If he had
Lucky would have
slipped
aged.
farther down the water.
Lucky would have aged 12 years.
Oh shit, so that one was worse. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, the further
The broom was the right idea.
the further you get from the center, the more powerful like
That's what
the
I gathered.
effect is on
That's what I
those. Yeah. Whereas like the 2 edges are moving about 10% faster. So it's like you're, like time's not too much. The center point is 50% faster, but then the further you move from that center point, the more powerful the effect gets. And that
About this more, we could have just put a mirror on a stick and like.
yeah. The island that
really
you were
want
on was the
stick?
furthest one away, Andalus. Like it is impossible to look at Andalus and know how old Andalus is,
He a robot.
but Andalus aged 100 years.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hey,
Yeah.
Okay.
Noavian technology holds
I'm
up.
glad it wasn't anyone else.
Wow.
Going
No.
into a temporal zone will void your warranty.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing I had Misty Step fucking prepared
Yeah.
today. Jesus.
Yeah.
Misty Step is one of the best spells.
Yeah, because it was 100 years in, and it would have been another 100 years out.
Oh,
But you Misty stepped
Jesus.
out. Mhm.
Okay.
Though this puzzle was specifically designed for you all to get really scared of it and to send Andalus in, because Andalus is the only one who would not be affected by it. Yeah.
Well, I was like sweating while we're all standing on the one island deciding what to do. I'm like, can we move to? I gotta get you guys out of this.
Yeah,
place.
no. I was like, we didn't do round actions, but I just kind of,
Sure.
I just based on like how,
Yes.
like you made certain number of choices. How long were you on that
Yep.
island based on those number of choices? Yep. All right, but you walk through, and Andalus, you can feel like time is moving faster here, but it's not moving like dramatically faster. Like you feel if you were here for an hour, maybe 3 would go by. It's like dramatic. But you guys find yourself in another central courtyard area. There's a fountain at the center, and there's the streaming water coming out of the fountain is like moving like if you're like lenticular flows, when water flows at the right speed and pace, like you can't even see it flowing. Like you see it almost looks like the water is frozen in time, but you can hear it interacting with the basin, right? So there's clearly water flow. It's just moving so quickly that it's got like that lenticular like feeling to it. And in this space you see 3 hourglasses kind of floating at the edges of around the central basin. And they're all just kind of loosely, like horizontally floating. So the sand isn't moving within them. But that's what you see as you walk in.
Feel like we should stand one of them up, but I don't know which one.
Do they have any markings on them or
Yeah,
anything? As we
Okay,
get closer?
so you move up and inspect. Does anybody want to inspect the fountain versus... Because you remember in the first section that you were in, like around the fountain were the clues that let you know that you needed to return time to its normal self. So if one of you wants to inspect the fountain, and then like if the rest of you move to one of the hourglasses, we can do those investigation checks that way.
Okay, I'll check the hourglasses.
Okay, hourglass, make an arcana check or an investigation check. Kieran, an investigation check.
That's a 14 arcana.
Okay.
Seven. 17.
17. Okay. So let me see. No, that's stupid. Where's that? Okay. So Kieran, as you're looking at the fountain, you see like the last fountain you were at had 12 runes, and you guys connected it to the hands of the clock. This one only has 3 runes, and they are at each of the points, and they are over like, or they're in bases where it looks like something circular could be housed in that base. And the first one is an image of a child. The second one is an image of, like, it's hard to tell, but like maybe like an adult, but they have like elven features. And the third one is like a entity that is like geometric or fractal in pattern or shape. And if you were to show it to Lucky would immediately recognize what it is.
Oh,
Looking around, not looking at all at this.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I am towards the back. I think Lucky has noped the fuck out of interacting with anything.
yeah, I'll
So
call
I think
everyone over
Lucky
to
will
look
like
at this,
hang in the back and not like unless you call. Okay.
because
Yes.
I'm guessing these represent different time flows. So like if we turn the hourglass over, one's going to fall faster than the other. That would go with the child, etc. But I don't know which of these is older, because in one hand this looks middle-aged, like an adult, but it's an elf who can live hundreds and thousands of years. So, and I don't know what this thing on the end is.
Do I know what the thing on the end is?
It is Bellinor. It is the geometric fractal pattern that Bellinor always took when he was like floating in his sleep.
Oh. So that's stagnation. Okay. Okay. I explained what just the Bellinor image to you.
Andalus, as you're looking at each of the hourglasses, they're all on their side, so there's no flow of sand. But the moment you kind of like tilt the sand up, the moment you tilt one of them up, all of the doors that lead the space vanish.
Oh, okay.
And you suddenly start to hear a click, 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 click in space around you. All of you are starting to hear this. You get the sense that you have a certain amount of time to complete this task. But Andalus, what you're noticing is that like your heartbeat is normal. 6 seconds later, it's 10% faster. 6 seconds later, it's 10% faster than that. You've activated like the temporal speed is increasing in this space. Like 6 seconds right now is 6 seconds, but 6 seconds from now, 6 seconds is a minute. 6 seconds from now, 6 seconds is an hour. So you guys have a certain number of actions to take place before Bonnie will be so old that they will die here. because Bonnie is the oldest member of your party.
Jesus.
So the way that it's exponentially, the way it's exponentially increasing, Andalus, you feel like you have about 5 rounds. So everyone go ahead and roll initiative for me really quick.
We have to get out of here right fucking now.
Yeah.
That's a nat 1.
Perfect.
That's a nat 1.
Oh God.
So
Kieran
7 altogether.
Yeah, Kieran will go first, then Bonnie. Or, sorry,
11.
Kieran will go first of the last, and then Bonnie. 11. Lucky. Okay.
I mean, it's fitting that Bonnie's going last.
Yeah, Ravik.
I got 17.
Okay, Ravik. And Andalus?
18.
Oh, good. So Andalus top. So Andalus, on your turn, you have turned this this around, right? And you're looking at it, and as much as time is beginning to speed up as you're looking at it, this hourglass is moving at a completely normal pace.
Okay. All right. Did they figure out anything at the fountain had the others?
So these are floating kind of around the fountain. And so the northern sigil was the one that had like the baby, the sigil on the leftern had the adult elf, and the sigil on the right had the Bellinor.
Any input here?
See what the other 2 are going, but I'm guessing that one's going to go in the middle.
This is the baby one?
No, middle is normal human.
So baby is
the one that will go fast.
Human, baby, adult, and then cool.
So I'm guessing that's for adult, but let's confirm before putting it in.
Cool. So on Andalus is waiting then. And do you want to move towards one of them, or just wait here on this turn?
I'll move towards the elven one.
Okay, cool. Ravik, that's your turn.
Oh God, I don't know what to do. Okay, Ravik. Are we just putting him in?
Grab a hourglass, turn it up, and see how fast it goes.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, so you grab one of the other hourglasses, and this one is either moving so fast that you cannot tell how quickly it's moving, or it's not moving at all.
That has to be Bellinor.
You think it's Bellinor?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Don't put it in. Just get over there.
Okay, so you run over, you flip that one, and then you rush over to the Bellinor piece. Lucky.
Yes.
You go to the final hourglass.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
No.
Perfect.
Yeah, you're traumatized.
I don't touch
Traumatized
shit.
now.
What I'm going to do is, who seems to be like holding, like is Andalus is holding an action right now?
Andalus it just is waiting until, like, I guess they're holding in their action. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to pop them in.
Okay, then I'm just gonna cast guidance on Andalus in case rolls need to be made.
Perfect.
Okay,
Absolutely. Yep. All right. And then Kieran, you go to the last
I run
hourglass.
to the last one,
Okay.
flip it over.
You flip this hourglass over, and it is moving at a variable pace. So sometimes it's moving slow, and sometimes it's moving very quickly.
Fuck.
Yeah, there goes that theory.
Is that the elven
Child.
one then?
You go to the child. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
because
Elf is long lived, steady. Childhood different depending on your age. There's
shoots up.
between 0 and 1 year. There is no such thing as time. 1 year to 3 year. So I'm put them in.
Okay, so you all take a moment and you kind of lower them in, and the one over Bellinor immediately like lights up, and you can see like every single grain of sand is now a glowing orb of light that is traveling and carrying time through this hourglass with it. You lower the normal time into the adult, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And the normal time falls into the adult, and there's a moment where like nothing happens at the exact same moment that Ravik is lowering the variable time into the child, and nothing happens. And when you pull it up, Kieran, you can tell that it's like there's a clearer image of the person now, is that like this is an elf at a very advanced age.
The fake out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
You got it.
Yeah. So you guys can like Bonnie's turn.
Twitch.
Yeah. Bonnie can grab.
Normally until the end.
Yeah. Bonnie, you have time to grab one and take it to the other spot if you'd like to. If you want to grab Kieran's or Ravik's.
I will do that. I will grab Kieran's.
Okay, so you take Kieran's and run it over to where Ravik was. Ravik, you pick up yours. Bonnie, you lower it, and you see like normal time lights up, and there's that kind of white light spreads throughout that as time is normal here. And then Andalus, that takes us to you. Mm-hmm. You can grab Ravik's and take it if you want, or you can wait for Ravik to do that. Okay, so you rush over and grab that and swap over, and you set it down. And you realize as you're looking at it, like, there's nothing more common than people over the age of 75 years old talking about how quickly time travels.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly. That's what I
but
thought.
then there's also days where they just sit and do nothing, and then like time seems to stretch into endlessness, right? But you,
for an elven person.
Yeah, you set it down, and light suffuses through, and the rune at the center lights up, and you see that darkness spread around the room, and suddenly and the two floating eyes of Tithalamus enter the space. Huh. Wow. 2 down. 1 to go. You all look a little worse for the wear.
Anything you can do about that?
She kind of kneels down. I can help one of you.
That's so.
But none of the rest of us noticed that it was aging.
I'm sorry, is that... hold on.
We're restoring your maze.
Is that a
and going up
power
walls?
thing? Like you're only capable of restoring one, or is that a choice?
Until the entire maze is fixed, I do not have access to my full range of power.
Understandable.
Well, I don't feel any worse for wear, so I'm fine at not being me.
Then let's make a deal. We only fix the whole maze if you restore us.
I'd be happy to restore you once I have access to my full powers, but...
I want it to be a deal.
I know what game you're playing at, Witch.
It's a good game, and it covers both of us.
Does it? In my experience, you only have to make deals with people that you do not trust.
Why should I trust you?
What have I done that would make you think that you shouldn't? I immediately came and offered to help one of you with the full extent of the power that I have right now, as a thank you for freeing this portion of my maze. Once you free the other portion, I will be happy to help the rest.
Well,
but I refuse to be bound to a witch.
I'm sorry. I just feel responsible, so.
You have the most to lose from this, Andalus.
I don't know what you're talking about.
She kind of looks Lucky and Andalus. Which of you should I help?
Should help Lucky.
Okay. And you see like her eyes flare. Like it immediately.
I was like, oh my god.
Her eyes flare purple, and you suddenly feel Lucky like this energy kind of wash over you. And for you, Lucky, you see like the sun begin to move across the sky backwards.
Oh,
And then faster,
weird.
and then faster, and then faster, and faster, and faster, and faster. And it goes so quickly. But everyone else, you're just seeing kind of Lucky like surrounded by this magical energy. And then you kind of settle down for a moment. And you can visibly see like Tuthalamus is like weakened by the choice made there. And then looks and says, I might have gone a couple weeks too far the other direction, but close enough.
Thank you.
You're welcome. She looks at Andalus. And in your head, Andalus, you hear, I don't know how much time you were built to withstand, but I think you might only have a few more hours before that heart of yours may cease beating. And that is where we will pick up next week.
Bro, what?
And do was I about to fall apart like the blues?
I was like, Josh, you did a really good job taking a second to be like, days. No, hours.
Jesus. I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah. Well, 2000 is making her best guess based on like she's never encountered a light forge before.
My son is so dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Lord Jesus.
He's not dumb. He's trying his best.
Just immediately, no, give it to Lucky. No. And no university would accept it.
Where like, okay, we've been wounded. Well, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Well, you all have 8 years. Or how many years you all had?
The stipulation on Warforged is that they could conceivably live forever as long as they receive consistent upkeep and maintenance. And you went 100 years without any maintenance or upkeep. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, Josh, I'm so aware. It's
oh my god! No, he's gonna turn into the Tin Man. No.
My blinker went out.
The Ethan Slater of it all.
My blinker went out so long ago.
Had there been any of us other than Andulasite, it would have been instant death on that.
Oh, Bonnie would have turned to dust.
But it's funny because he just doesn't see it that way, which is hilarious.
I mean, yeah, Bonnie would have died. We have no idea how Kieran ages.
Yeah, I don't know how.
In character,
Vidalcan.
Does time even exist?
But some of them were like over 100% time.
Yeah, Vidalcan can live up to 500 years, but typically 350. So Kieran would have been better off than almost any of you.
Maybe Vidalcan are like jellyfish and they'll like go forward and then back and like forward and back.
Yeah, because ASMR seems like they should live longer and they fucking don't.
Nope,
they live like the teeniest bit longer than
they age like half elves, almost like a little bit longer than humans. Yeah.
Did you see my message, Chase? I said Lucky experienced twink death.
It's so true. No, I didn't see it because I was like,
it's a Lucky experience twink death, and then I just had a message that this dungeon traumatized both our characters.
Yeah.
Oh, Harangon lived to be 100.
Yeah, but Bonnie is still like 60 years
still
old.
Would have died.
Yeah, still would have died, but.
Mm-hmm.
You were
but
feeling
not quite as died.
Yeah,
it depends on which island you went on. There's definitely one you would have died on. I almost died. I was bad. Misty Step, thank you.
Misty Step, yeah. The bridge, yeah. Like when you said that at the start, I was like, "Oh, that's the big trap here." Until you guys realize that time is moving faster, is that like the things can rot out from underneath your feet because time is moving so quickly.
God,
and you figured that out quickly enough that you were able to avoid most of it. Yeah.
So crazy. I loved it.
Yeah, not gonna lie, Rob, you were kind of MVP of this episode.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was figuring it
the other
your brain constantly.
Yeah. You all.
I noticed.
The other thing that you guys did get to encounter, because you didn't go to any of the higher number islands, is that each of the islands had haste glyphs on them, which when you stepped on them would have like given you additional actions. But if you weren't able to complete the task and get off the island before the action, the time expired, you would have been frozen on the island for a turn, which would have given you the effect of the island for an additional turn longer than normal. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So it could have been a boon to get you off the island quick enough, but if you like failed the check to get off the island, then you would have been stuck.
Well, and also very funny. If I didn't have my broom, this would have been very annoying.
Yeah, making the broom was like a huge,
a lot harder.
Yeah.
That's what I said when Rob was like, "Okay, Andrew, let's get on the broom and like go check all this out." Like that was huge.
Oh god, wow, that was so scary. That's like the scariest thing you put in the game for me. That was wild.
Yeah, that was intense.
The passage of time, terrifying.
Yes, more scary than
Mhm.
anything in a cave.
It didn't even be real life horror, Josh.
Yeah.
God.
And then I would send a fucking gif of Interstellar, and I was like, wow, the movie that fucked me up probably harder than any psychological horror I've ever seen in my life.
That movie fucked me up, and then I got motion sickness for the first time at the end of it. So then I had to go through.
Really?
Oh no.
Yeah, that was like the movie that caused me to get motion sickness the first time, I think.
Oh no.